welcome to another episode of A Walk in My Shoes. I'm your host, Dan Vasquez, and I'm so happy that you're joining us today. Today is a very special program because we are bringing the term Worked Up, the consortium of Worked Up, and we have three wonderful guests, three CEOs, not just one. You get three today. We have the CEOs for three different organizations. We have the Landid LCC. We have Chris Sena from Landid LCC. We have Joy Reyes, CEO of the Columbus Leadership Council, and Dr. Seleshi from Ethiopian Tewahedo Social Services.
You did good.
So welcome to the Walk in My Shoes, and it's just great to have you guys here. And today we'll talk about this consortium called Worked Up. So we'll start with Joy. And Joy, please tell us about what Worked Up is. And well, before we do that, let me back up and let's have a little bit introduction about our guest for those of you. So we'll start with Chris, and then we'll go in order. So Chris, tell us about you, your position, and your organization.
Sure, no problem at all. So I'm co-founder of an organization called Landid, based here in Columbus. Very simply, we land talent, and what we mean by that, or what I mean by that, is that we work with employers who are looking for talent for their organizations, and we help them put their best foot forward to attract the right talent into their organizations. On the other side, we also work with job seekers who are out in the job market to really help them figure out what it is that they should be doing moving forward, something, a career that matches their strengths, their aspirations, their goals. And we also help them navigate the very treacherous and confusing job market.
Well, thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
It's good to have you. And then we have Joy Reyes.
Awesome, thank you, Dan. Well, CCC Works is the division of CLC that focuses on employability skills, building what youth and adults need to move forward, whether it be they need assistance with getting a GED, or if they need help with moving forward with obtaining certificate programs and getting their skills that they need to be ready to work in today's economy. We really want to focus on making them ready for employability, ready to be a contributor in the next position, and we focus on all of the skills that they're going to need to be ready to take that next step.
Thank you so much, Joy. And Dr. Seleshi.
Thank you,
welcome.
Dan. Really appreciate. My name is Seleshi Asfaw. I'm the president and CEO for Ethiopian Tewahedo Social Services, or ETSS, and also our central name Tewahedo, which is coming together as one, which we believe that all humanity is one and togetherness. So we provide services for new Americans and low-income individuals in Central Ohio on employment, health and wellness, community participation and engagement, youth development programs from early education to high school graduation and following up to college, and also for domestic violence and other culturally competent services. So the whole purpose is really to help our new arrivals, new Americans, refugee immigrants, to facilitate their integration and become productive members of our society.
Thank you, Dr. Seleshi. I mean, this is fantastic. This is three different organizations. We have two nonprofits and the LCC organization, and all three of you have different strengths and different things, but you're coming together in this one, in this consortium. And what are some of the things that, Chris, well, first of all, how did you guys connect it? How did these two organizations come together?
Well, Joy was a client of ours. And we started working together on several projects, and this, some opportunities came to light, and we decided to form a consortium along with ETSS to go to market together. What we really liked about the CLC organization and working with you all is your innovation. We work with quite a few nonprofits But this one in particular is doing things, I mean, people on the other end can't see what I see. We're in an entire studio in your office, and it's huge and it's sophisticated, and so we were really impressed and thought you'd be a great partner moving forward. But to answer your other question, you know, our superpower in all of this is navigating careers and navigating the job market. Everybody who works for our organization, they are career HR and recruiting leaders. We know the market, both from the employer side and from the job seeker side. So we bring that expertise every day to the professional community, and now I think we've developed a methodology and some technology that we would like to take to everybody, if we can.
That's incredible. I mean, that's a new thing, you know, an amazing things to move forward, right? And Joy, tell us what are some of the strengths that you find that are similar in all the three organizations that we have?
Well, honestly, I think one of the biggest strengths that I found in between and among the three of us is the care and concern that each person that I have met within all the agencies has for the individuals that we're working with. Knowing that you can entrust someone to another agency and to know that that person's going to carry them forward with the same culture for excellence, the same push for finding the best opportunity for them in the best path that's for that individual, and helping that individual discover what they're going to be best at. Knowing that each of us bring that to the table has been enlightening on my part. You know, as Chris mentioned, working with him, we had them come in and really work with us on doing a better job of hiring individuals. But one of the things that their agency came in with and shared was that the culture at CLC wasn't the issue, that CLC really had good culture. And as I really started to contemplate that, I realized this is one of our strengths. It's the culture and care that we bring to what we're doing in this striving for excellence. I've seen that in everything that Landid does, from the facility that they're using to the content that they're producing. It's excellent. And likewise, I've seen that with ETSS. I have been so impressed with what they're able to bring to the consortium and bring to the table, the excellence and care that they bring in serving the immigrant community and the refugee population has been a tremendous blessing to be a part of that consortium.
That's amazing. Dr. Seleshi, how difficult it is to, because this is not very common for organizations that I know of, how difficult it is for organizations, or how have you find it coming together with these different organizations?
Yeah, I think coming together as one, as I said, it's our philosophy.
Yes.
So always we extended our hands for partnership and collaboration. You know, I know CLC for a long. When I came here as an asylum in Columbus, Columbus Literacy Council, that was I was referred, and then I was referring our clients for English as second language at that time in 1997, 1998, and 2000. And then since then we're back and forth. But recently we partner with AMP.
Yes.
Achieve More for Prosperity, which is targeting
Franklin County,
16 to 18 years old, which we are funded through Franklin County Commissioners through Job and Family Services. So that brings us really to know more each other, CLC and ETSS, and become closer. Initially, it was really, it is hard when you don't know, and navigating the new thing is really hard.
Yes.
But the more we know each other, the more we know that we care and have really a common purpose and goal, and that really inspires us to do more and partner. And then this idea came up and created, worked up, where we can really to bring more, move up the traditional employment services to a higher level. So that idea came, and look, our strengths from ETSS, really, we have reached out networks, refugee migrant community, CLC, the 50 plus years of experience, and Landid is good to know them really, because that we are looking that kind of highly professional individuals, because as a refugee migrant, as you know, they are very highly skilled, high professional, but they need that kind of technical assistance and mentorship and support. So it's really a kind of a golden opportunity for all of us to come together, share that experience and impact to the communities that we are serving.
So as I'm listening to each of you, you all share a common goal. And that common goal is employability, workforce development. Let me hear, and this is free for any of you that would like to take it. What are some of the strengths that your organization brings to the table? Like on a more specific day-to-day thing.
Yeah, you know, when we talk about the goals of the organization, you know, really one of the primary goals for us is not just to help somebody find work. What's more important than that, I think, is helping somebody find the right job. And when I mean the right job, it's something that really matches their core skill set, the strengths that, you know, you might say they're born with. But really, you want somebody to work in a role where they wake up every morning and they're excited to go to work. It doesn't feel like work, because that's where you have more success in terms of you know, promotions, in terms of staying with the job for long term, in terms of getting pay increases, et cetera. It's usually when you're engaged with your work. And so I would say one of the strengths that we have is, you know, we have so many HR professionals working for our organization who have worked in just about every career area imaginable. You know, just through simple conversations and some you know, assessments, we can help people who really don't know where their skill sets and their passions translate. We can help them figure that out and give them a path there. And I think, you know, the other part of what we do and do well is that the job market is very confusing. It's very ambiguous.
Yes.
There are rules, but nobody communicates those rules clearly. And so, you know, part of what we do is we work one-on-one with our clients to really help them every step of the way to navigate all the way through, you know, how do they apply for jobs, how do they network, and then of course when you get in for interviews, how do you hit the ball out of the park when you interview. But you know, we go really deep on an individual level with each person and give them coaching every step of the way so that they're not making the mistakes that we see so many people in the job market make every day.
That's terrific. That's amazing. And what I loved about what you're sharing is that individual touch.
Yes.
Because not everybody is the same, and not everybody has the same skills and the same strengths. So you really take the time to look at them and to highlight. Do you focus on their strengths or their weaknesses?
Strengths.
On their
Most
strengths.
definitely, yeah. Because the reality is, you know, you can spend all day trying to develop a weakness, and you're going to move the needle on that weakness about that much. But if you put that same effort into pursuing something that aligns with your strengths, it's a multiplier. The sky's the limit when that happens. But you're absolutely right that the individual approach is what will make us different. You're right, we don't believe that everybody should just be in a classroom all together all the time learning the same things. No, it's really about knowing where a person needs to be career-wise and then helping to build a very specific plan for that person to find those jobs and land those jobs.
Not only at an entry level, but people that have already been in careers but are not satisfied, that
Yes.
want to go to the next level,
Oh,
to
yeah.
the next step, because you know, we all know that there's so many people going day to day in different things, but they don't see a way out.
And CLC recently has had an influx of individuals that are coming in because their position has, their company's downsized. And they're coming in, they're an adult, they really need that extra help to reframe what their skills are, to reposition them and put them in the best possible location to obtain employment at the same level they were or better. And one of the things that, you know, CLC has been doing for a long time, and I know ETSS does this as well as Landid, but with our agencies, we provide basic skills. We have individuals on staff that can help someone that knows what they want to do, that just needs a resume refresh. We can help them do that. But what we found is as we've partnered with Landid, their resume refresh can really help them hit that next level of a job. Their LinkedIn profile update can move them forward and help prospects improve for them. So all of the things that we can do on a very basic level, Landid really becomes the expert and the go-to company for those individuals that are really ready to take that next step and start looking for a position, Landid can help us get them positioned in the right way, as Chris said, for the right job. Because it doesn't, if you're not passionate, and it really doesn't matter if, you know, people think, oh, you work at a nonprofit, you have to be passionate about what you're doing. Well, you're right, we do. We have to have passion. But what Chris shared with what Landid's philosophy is so true. If you don't have passion about what you're going to do day in and day out, it is mundane and it really becomes it's dreaded. You don't want to go. But when you like what you're doing, you want to get up on time, you want to be there early, you want to do the most you can do, and you want to be the best employee you can be. So it really becomes a win-win, not just for the employee, but economically speaking, it's a win for the employee, which then means it's a win for our county. Our community does better when we take time to help the person find the right job. And making the community better feeds back into everyone's mission, and then that individual that we've served is also leaving content and happy. Recently, Dan, we just had an individual that we've helped. Came into CLC, needed some work, and he has just been able to obtain a position with Amazon in Seattle. He's an engineer, but when he came in, he lacked his skills. He could not speak English. But by running him through this entire system, he is now being transferred to Amazon in Seattle, Washington. They're paying for the move. He has a high-level position with him, and he is really benefiting from Worked Up. And we are really excited about that opportunity with them.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Dr. Seleshi, I happen to know your story personally. And I know you're a medical doctor. You were a medical doctor in your native country of Ethiopia. So you knew how to get to the top. And then you came to America, and then you have to start all over again, right? So tell us about passion. And I do want to hear about the strengths that ETSS brings. So please, but also I want you to give your 2 cents about passion.
Yeah, I mean the story, my story is most of refugees and immigrants' story. You know, we have some professions back home and skilled, and you know, you do a lot of things. It's the passion that you have, especially in the medical field. Because you know, in the place where I grew up, you know, I have seen a lot of people dying left and right because of communicable disease, and that interests me to study medicine. And I succeeded and go back to my village and help a lot of, one of my you know, happiest moment in my profession was when I was, you know, helping, you know, 60, 70 clients per day.
Wow.
Then that things changed when the political situation is really changed, and I was, you know, persecuted and pushed out to leave my country. So, you know, I have no choice. I have to leave, and came and start life again. So I was trying to pursue my profession, but you know, life takes me to another route, which I see my passion really to help. And I see that, yes, I mean, the medical profession is good in America to pay well, but there are so many needs in the community. Service gaps, lack of culturally appropriate services, and people, you know, especially the youngsters, they're lost. They couldn't graduate from high school. So that interests me really, and helps me, you know, because I want some kind of meaningful life to impact, you know, people, and then see, you know, that's what, you know, when I choose medicine, is the same thing, the same principle. That, so that's what, you know, I really from medicine profession to social engineering, that I came back. Our strength is really bringing for our partnership in the community. Number one, the holistic and culturally appropriate services that we are providing. When you say holistic, we touch the whole 5 areas of the social determinants of health, or which I call them the 5 key areas of socioeconomic development. Number 2 is access of services. You know, we have 3 community centers and 13 locations in Central Ohio.
Wow.
And these locations are embedded inside where our refugee immigrants and clients are, so that they can, you know, working distance, they can get the service that they need, you know. And third is the diversity and inclusiveness of our staff. Our staff speak over 25 languages.
Wow.
And from our board,
25 languages.
25 languages. You know, our board is so diverse, multi-ethnic, multicultural, the same thing that reflects into our staff and middle management and frontline staff. You have all the bilingual assistances, community liaisons in each corner of the city, so that easily we can share information from up to down, from down to up. So really that positioning is a unique perspective for ETSS, and then we can share that infrastructure that we build in. And the third is the collaborative and partnerships that we build in Central Ohio. We have about over 69 community-based organizations that we are working with. And that really also, bring the collaboration between corporate foundations, the public, partnership on the funding aspect also, which is really a unique perspective that we are bringing in. So that's what, we can bring that strengths to our partnership.
Yes.
So that, easily we can help because, look, the partnership, the collaboration between the corporate, one good example, there was an employee, highly skilled electrical engineer back in Ethiopia. And there are others from Iraq. They are highly educated. They know what to do. But they were trying to get a job. They applied to different companies. And
it's different here in America
it's
than it
different.
is. Yeah.
The HR of the American way of HR looking is different than where these, professionals have been experiencing.
Yes.
So they couldn't get a job. So that guy, finally he was desperate. He applied in Michigan. He got a job. His families are here. He has to travel every week, every Monday to his work, and then came back on Friday. So he contacted, my agency. One of my staff reached out and then connected with me. We are building a good relationship with AAP at that time because we have a good orientation. We brought their staff, how we are working with cultural barriers, the language barriers, but they are very highly skilled people. So they understand. And then we communicated through that relationship. The HR was really very good in accepting, because we referred and prepared the resumes and everything. My goodness, this guy was hired. And within a year, he was promoted 2 times. They were, even now recently, yesterday I heard that he's promoted again for a third time.
Wow.
So this is how these skilled individuals who's productive, but because of the language barrier, because of the way that they put their resume, because of the interviews, they are not, the refugee immigrant community usually they are shy to sell or to promote themselves. So we have to teach all that kind of basic skills, soft skills, and preparing them. So that was a kind of good stories that through partnership and collaboration that we are bringing to.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so I love that example. I just want to add one thing to it because I think you illuminated what really is happening, and that is, you immigrate from another country and you have this great skill set, and you just know if that person is in a job, that skill set will come to light, flourish, and their careers will move forward. The challenge is that gap between the job and arriving. And we also see that with veterans who are coming out of the military for the first time, and so really the approach that we use to help people think about and manage their job search is to really think about it like the launch of a new product into the marketplace, because it's very, very similar, and we actually take people through the exact same steps that a product marketer would use, but a lot of that is in translation of your experience from one environment to a new environment. You definitely see that also with veterans who come out, and they're, the titling is different, the way they speak is a little bit different, the terminology is different, and a lot of these HR teams don't know what to do when they get a military resume. They don't know how it translates to their world, and so that's another thing that we do, is we help to translate all of that experience into language that HR departments are going to understand and present our candidates that way.
Exactly. I think
That's
a
great.
good point. Yeah.
Go ahead.
And, just recently, Columbus, Ohio has joined, Columbus, Ohio is part of a pilot project for a new program because of Mayor Andrew Genther's role as a mayor, and he's connected to the community of mayors across the nation. He was able to get this program. It's through the Workforce Development Board of Central Ohio and One Columbus, and they've joined together and they've opened up different spots on this. It's a dashboard, and we're going to be able to see not just career paths by career titles, but we're going to be able to see skill sets that are transferable across various careers. So exactly what Landid is, Chris is talking about, in what Dr. Seleshi is mentioning, this opportunity that this presents just enhances what Worked Up is going to be able to do. We're going to be able to see firsthand what the careers are in Central Ohio, what is in demand right here, right now, what employers are looking for, as well as what's expected in the next few months through the economic development and what's happening. We're going to see what's coming, where the needs are. We're going to be able to see what those skills are. And then with the expertise and behavior management and strengths profiling that Landid is able to do, bringing in the clients that we have through Worked Up, we are going to be able to position our constituency, the individuals that we're serving, we're going to be able to position them to be the top candidate for these positions, because we're going to know here's the strengths they're looking for. They have the strengths from their background over here. We're going to be able to build those resumes, help the individuals develop the interviewing skills to discuss the opportunity that's going to be presented to them, to answer the questions in a way that those HR interviewers are going to need to hear the information. So I am really, really enthusiastic about what our opportunities are with the new program that's coming in, and how we're going to be able to take this consortium, apply the knowledge that we're gaining through the new dashboard, and just double up on what we're already able to do as a consortium.
Yeah. I think we are good on the traditional employment. We provide job skills, English as second language, soft skills, preparing for resumes, and getting them their entry-level jobs. Now it is a time to move up, because these clients have been there working their lifetime. They want to move up. And this partnership, what I look at really, and I said it before, is really to move from that traditional employment platform to upscale, so that they will increase their performance, they will be promoted. CLC has a certificate program. Landid have really that skill, because I have a lot of professionals, refugee immigrant professionals, and we did a survey 2 years ago with support of United Way, about 300 refugee immigrants. And most of professionals that they said was 70% of them, they didn't get any support to help them through their professional career. That is what this collaborative Worked Up will really target us. This, because the companies are looking high-skilled individuals, and there is also a demand, a need high-skilled individuals, so that we as a bridge makes that connection, so that our companies will enjoy those professionals, and then our clients, our refugee immigrants, and other low-income individuals will benefit from this. That's what really I'm really looking for on this partnership and collaboration of Worked Up group.
Yes, absolutely. Being able to help an individual get that next job that isn't just enough to get them off benefits, but it's enough for their family to thrive. It's enough for them to really be classified as earning a livable wage and making an impact on their household finances. That's what we're looking to do. But to do that, it does take the expertise that's provided by the partners in the consortium. It's not something that one agency can do by themselves. It takes the in-depth skill and knowledge that Landid brings, the ideas and concepts and background information on the refugees and immigrants that ETSS is able to provide, and from CLC Works, it takes just the constant evolution of someone helping them move to that next level, and then bringing it all together to move them into, as we said before, that position to just get there next. And that's really what we're looking for.
Another thing that we can bring on this discussion is to bring, yes, we are here the service providers. We have to bring on this table the employers. Here is the clients, the people that are looking the job. Here is the employers, we are the providers. So we have to bring our employers to work with us and also understand what is their need. ETSS is now working to build a kind of an employer-centered curriculum based on the need that they are looking for.
Yes.
Because we have the clients, we have the experts that we can help.
Yes.
So we have to push our funders. I'm really very, very happy with the county commissioners, the blueprint that they did for Central Ohio. Following that plan, we have to push our funders and our employers to come around the table, so that let us look at what are the needs, and how can we really productively, effectively that we can work. If we bring these players, I think Central Ohio is going to be the lead in the economic and community development.
I think it can be a great example.
Yeah.
You bring up a good point in that, I think that this group collectively is very well connected with organizations around town, and certainly in our organization, we all come from HR leadership positions in the Columbus area, so we've stayed in touch with our colleagues. But what I can tell you is, even despite being in a pandemic, this is not 2008, 2009, where the decimation in the job market was comprehensive. This seems to be more in pockets, and our organization, we also have a recruiting arm of our business, has never stopped. And we talk to employers all the time who in fact have shortages of talent for a lot of their positions in certain functional areas, and they're looking for new and innovative ways to find talent where they haven't looked before. And I look at this consortium as well as a source for maybe untapped talent that these organizations don't know is out there.
I have a funny story. One of our ESOL students came to me and he said, I need some help. I see these signs all over the city. We're hearing. And I said, we're hearing? Spell that for me. And he said, HIRING. We're hiring. He said, what does that mean? I said, they're looking for help. They're looking for a place. We're hiring. So it was funny, but it's true. I mean, there is so much need, and this Worktop Association is the bridge that helps connecting those looking to be hired and those hiring.
Exactly. Worked Up. We've bridged our agents, to use that same term, we've bridged our agencies together through the consortium. And what we want to do for the community is to provide that one-stop center that we're able, come to us, we will move you forward.
Dr. Seleshi, what are you most excited about this consortium?
I'm more excited because we are filling gaps of services that has not been addressed. And I'm very, very excited the strengths because I believe in collaboration and partnership. Collaboration and partnership is the current currency, global currency nowadays, because you cannot, one agency cannot do all, but bringing your talents together, set a model of working together and helping our community to be more self-sufficient is so important. So I'm really excited about our partnership because we have different skill set and experience. When you bring that together, it's a strong and a united force,
I would just add on to that. In the nonprofit realm, one of the things we hear frequently is you need to partner, you need to have collaboration, you need to be joined with other agencies, you need to confront the community together. But it does no good to just form a collaboration just to form it, to have a consortium just because somebody thinks these agencies fit well together, let's push them together, or the push that a lot of times you hear, oh, you guys just join forces and you're going to change the world. It doesn't really help if there's not a common mission. It doesn't help if that collaboration, if you can't see how you're going to work together. And one of the strongest things that I would say Worked Up brings is we bring a purposeful joining. There was a defined reason that made sense that the three of us joined together to organize Worked Up. It wasn't just let's form Worked Up because it sounds good. No, we collaborated and intently formed Worked Up because there's something that we can each bring to the table. It makes us stronger together. And at a time when we are going through the pandemic and we've seen lots of individuals lose their jobs or become unemployed, I think the key thing that we're still seeing is that employers need the talent. They're still looking. And so we have resources and connections to individuals that are automatically reaching into our companies. We have individuals that are seeking out the resources that our agencies are providing for rent assistance, utility assistance. And part of the reason they're asking for the assistance, they're explaining, we've lost our job because of COVID. Our company's been shut down. I'm on furlough. I'm looking for something else. And what that really has provided for us is a prime opportunity to reach out to them, get them in, and give them what they need to be worked up. We can help them upskill. We can help them be ready for their next. We can help them do all of the pieces that they need to do to get ready to get those open opportunities that are in our community right now. We're not talking about opportunities that are going to come in 6 months. These are real positions that are open right now, and through our collaboration, we're able to bring those individuals in and move them right out into positions.
That's amazing.
You know, losing your job is, I think, one of the 3 most traumatic things that can happen to a person in life. I mean, it's difficult enough, you know, when you have worries about your income, maybe a little loss of identity, but then you have to embark on a job search. And when people get into it, they struggle oftentimes because they don't know what they don't know about navigating the job market. And so I'm most excited about this methodology that we've developed over the last couple of years that, you know, largely have been used for you know, professionals maybe who were laid off from organizations. The organizations pay for that, but there's so many people out there who don't have access to that type of guidance. And I'm really excited to take this great methodology, you know, bring it to everybody. And and beyond that, you know, one of the things we recognize too is that, you know, with the loss of a job and the difficulties in the job market, it can take a mental toll on individuals, and let's be honest, their families as well. Yeah. And so recognizing that, we've brought in some folks who are experts in the field of psychology to really help the individuals that we work with some very practical coping mechanisms to control negative thinking and sometimes the thoughts that get in the way of making progress and projecting a positive image in the job market. So very excited to bring this to bear across this city.
So where does the name Worked Up came about? How does that name come up?
Dave.
Yeah, one of the Landid employees, we were talking and we thought, you know, it's great that we're forming a collaboration, but do we consistently want to talk about the collaboration as Landid, LLC, CCC Works, and ETSS? And we thought we're really committed to this, and so we were talking and we just said we needed something, and one of the partners.
It's working.
It's working.
Yeah. Dave. That's what Dave co-founded Landid with me, but like one of his special gifts is he can just name stuff really well. And so we'll always say, Dave, this product needs a name. And it was the same thing. We were in the room, we're like, Dave, we need a name for this organization. So he just walks outside of the room, does a little lap around our office, comes back and he said, Worked Up. We're like, that's great.
Wow. Oh, that's
now we just need a logo.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like the website. I recommend, you know, people to look at the one that we did. That is the first introduction. Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent.
Wow, that's fantastic. So geographically speaking, what the location that Worked Up is serving? Do they have to be Franklin County or
Right
Central
now,
Ohio? So starting here in Central Ohio.
we're in Central Ohio, yes. And
So-
our core services are offered in Franklin County right now.
Okay, that's terrific. Which around what's the number of the population that is going to be in need of this really?
Oh.
I think we looked at that number, right?
We did. We estimate that we have the capacity to help around 150,000 individuals a year to actually move them through the process. Not all of them will need intensive services from ETSS or from CLC or from Landid, but we have the capacity to serve them at some level, 150,000. So it's a large number that jointly we're able to serve. And then, you know, when we get down to who needs which services, it's a smaller number because not everybody needs every single thing that we've talked about. Not everybody's coming from the military. Not everybody's experienced a loss. Not everybody needs certain elements of it. But in general, it's a service that we are able to provide. And as Chris and Dr. Seleshi both mentioned, it's individualized. So not everyone has to take something off the menu. You get to pick and choose, and we help you with your selection of what's the best thing for you with your skill set.
So how is this going to look like as far as the process? An individual comes to Worked Up. Where are they to expect? What's the expectation? Sorry.
Well, I think when they come in, what they should be able to expect first is to be greeted as an individual, to be treated in a very respected manner and to be taken seriously. So that for me translates that we have great customer service. They're going to be treated well. They're going to be followed up with. We're going to listen to what they're saying. So one individual came to Worked Up and shared with me, hey, I just went to this other agency, and when I called them and told them, I've just lost my job. I've been in the hospitality industry, and our hotel isn't doing well through the COVID crisis. So I called someone else. I needed to sign up and get some help. I called, and what I heard was, oh, you're in hospitality? That's great. There's no openings there. We need to shift you over to IT. And she was sharing with me, IT's not my skill set. I didn't want IT. The person didn't listen to what I said.
Wow.
I scheduled an appointment with their agency. I go for some help, and what I'm told again is, go over there, sit down, work, and we'll get with you later. And then nobody really came to help her. And when I heard that, that just solidified for me that Worked Up really needed to be more present in Franklin County, because what we help, what we do, I mentioned earlier in the interview here, Dan, the whole concept of excellence in service, excellence and a great culture. That goes without saying, that if you're going to have this excellent culture, you need to have it across the board.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if you're coming in and your position that you're going to be looking for is you want help becoming a worker that's going to be delivering packages, or if you want to walk in to be an assistant to a CEO, or you want the next CEO position. It doesn't matter where you're at on the spectrum. You need to be treated with dignity. You need to be treated with respect. If you're an immigrant, you need to be treated in a way that recognizes just because you're lacking some language skills doesn't mean you're lacking skills. It doesn't mean that you lack competency. And just treating them with respect, listening to what they're saying. If they say they're in hospitality, let's break down that skill set. Let's look at what those skills are and find a comparable area that's currently hiring that we might be able to transition someone into. Not just pick IT, because the reality is IT is a big field and there's a lot of demand for it, and there's a lot of push right now to push people into IT. So I'm not opposed to that, but we need to listen to the people. So I think one of the key things when they come to us, part of the process is we're going to greet them, we're going to treat them with respect, we're going to listen to what they have to say, and then we will help them frame what their skills are and what their future might be. We'll frame that in context with what's available and keep them in their strength.
And after that, as Joy said, the warm welcome with respect, you greeted them, and staff will take some kind of intake form, and then after that there will be an in-depth individual employment plan or individual assessment plan. So based on that assessment, we will see their plan. If it is really absorbed by each of us, then we can help them their barriers and their challenge that they are looking for. If, for example, I found, my staff found this highly skilled individual, then I'm going to refer and connect with Landid if they need a certification program, so that, that individual assessment plan is a key.
Yes.
Where to, based on that plan, because the client and the case manager work together, put together a plan, because to assess him, there are in-depth assessment forms that they have to go through, and then they'll put out a goal and a set of goals. So based on that, we can share between our partners, and if it's beyond us, we have a network of hubs and services network that we are in, so that any individual came to each of our centers will be served.
I was really surprised by the individual being pushed into IT within the first 30 seconds of the conversation. I think the consultation is key up front. What do good consultants do? They ask really good questions to really understand the goals of the person sitting across the table from them. And that's so important, taking that step to really match the individual with the right career path, because you know what? While it might be easier and quicker on the front end just to push somebody into a field that where they don't fit, they're going to come back to you in a month needing the same service. And so, in our eyes, if somebody comes back to us in a month after starting a job because it wasn't the right fit, that's a failure on our part. So, it's so important up front to do that consultation so that the right plan can be put in place. And then, of course, we help our clients work their way through that plan. So it's not just a plan and see you later. It's a plan and we're going to work through this together.
And the most important part of all of that too is we're listening to them. It's their plan. It's the other person's plan. The individual that came in, they're the ones that make the commitment to the plan. If I develop and write the plan and give it to them, there's no buy-in. They have to buy into it in order to help effect the change. And we need their buy-in. Why? Because they're the life that we want to help change. We shouldn't make the plan for them. We need to share opportunities, share potential skills, give them our opinions, but really they have to buy into that plan that's created so that, just like Chris was sharing, they're not back in the office, because then we're just duplicating our work again, and really that means someone didn't do the right thing, because we want them to be successful.
That's amazing. We are getting a few questions from the audience, and here's a question that somebody sent us. What do we need to do to be eligible for workup services?
To work on eligibility, the first step I would say is go to the website and choose your entry point.
Okay.
So go to Worked Up, and you can choose which agency you want to go through as a starting point, and then when that information gets to us, we all sit down and we work through that and look at it and decide which place are you better suited to start with.
Okay.
And the eligibility is an extensive, lengthy process, but it starts out with just getting in touch with us first.
And we're still in building mode, so ultimately it'll be a one-stop shop through our Worked Up website.
Right.
But that's going to come in a few months.
Awesome. And I love what Chris was sharing earlier. When you lose a job, you get a hard hit in your dignity, and I love that aspect that you are restoring that dignity and helping with that step.
Yeah, you find that really the enemy, just in working with so many people, the enemy is the voice in your head that is telling you things about yourself, such as you're not good enough, or nobody's going to want me, or why didn't my last employer want me anymore? And we have found that negative self-talk is the enemy of a job search and moving forward in life. Wow. And so we actually have some very, very practical strategies for really containing that voice, or really understanding what it is, so that you can really focus on the task at hand and not get hung up in the negative looping thoughts that we see so often.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's very good. I mean, that's awesome. Well, I mean, time is flying. We're running out of time soon. I don't know if we're going to take more questions from the audience, but is there anything else that you guys would like to share from?
Well, I would just say I really appreciate a walk in my shoes, taking time and in your time here today, Dan, to host us. Yeah. I can't stress enough how eager I am as the CEO of CLC and the director of the CLC Works program to be part of the partnership that is going forward with Worked Up. I'm excited to see what the next couple of months bring to us as a consortium, and how we're working and moving and improving our community, because I do believe that this partnership is on a path to make great change in Franklin County and in Central Ohio. And I'm just very thankful that you took time to let us share some of what we're able to do and some of what we are doing for our community. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much.
Joy put a bow on that one. Perfect.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thanks. Really, I mean, this is my second, maybe my third interview with my works in work in my shoes.
Work in my shoes.
It
Yes.
was fantastic. Really, you guys, give us your professionalism.
It's always a pleasure.
Your passion, and really, and the environment to work together. That's really so amazing, and excited my team, myself, and the communities that we are serving. And I hope that from this partnership that a lot of good things come out, and I hope by next year, look, this is what we did, and we will see, we'll continue this because it benefits us, it benefits the whole Central Ohio community, and this is a model partnership that we are building in. So, but in any way, the team, thank you so much.
Well, no, thank you all to all my guests. Thank you so much for your time, for coming in, for telling us about this, and for you watching. You know, good things are coming to Columbus. We're so excited about Worked Up. I want to make sure I share the website with you. The website is work-up.org. We'll post it in our social media right on the link below so that you can look at it and you can click on that. But once again, to my guests, thank you so much for being here today. It's been a pleasure. And thank you so much for you taking time of your Wednesday to be here, a walk in my shoes. We'll see you next week for a very special event, a very special program about the holidays.